First things first, if you could just tell us a little bit about, you've been in the hockey business for, I don't even want to count the years, but how have you seen these video games and, the way you can take home the NHL experience really come forward, and not necessarily, this exact year, but as video games have come along?
Well, I've had the good fortune to work in a prior video game at a different time in the era of video games when it was, they just did not have as much to offer because the technology was so limited in the late 1990s compared to what it is now. And at that time, we did it the right way, I think, with the limitations we had. I came in, there was a script this thick sitting on the table, and we worked our way through it. And they took it easy on you, and they gave you breaks because you had to shout an awful lot. But as time passed, it got a lot more sophisticated, and I had been away from video games for over a decade until this opportunity came along. And boy, is it different now. Not only in what they can do with the crowd, they can show you each of the cities in the NHL. We just had a rink. There's so much you can do now. We can have a vendor sitting down on a step watching the game for a while. This game's fascinating because you can be playing it and you're focusing on the action and the puck. If you're just watching some people play it, you can get distracted by watching the crowd or other things that are going on. They've thought of everything.
Absolutely. And for the first time, you guys are actually pioneers here, because there's never been a system where you actually see the commentators between the periods talking about action that has happened in the actual game. It's something that you have done. Now you have Doc Emrick talking about it. That is an experience that really can't be, taken any other way. So being that you guys are actually the first people to ever do that, what's that going to bring to the table? The fact that you have men like yourself talking about action that's happening on the virtual ice.
Well, it's more of an honor for us than it is anything else. If people are impressed that Eddie and I are involved, why, we're flattered by that. But the opportunity that we get, just like it is when we get to call Rangers and the Kings in the final, you oftentimes, and I know people say this, but really, you oftentimes say, how am I doing this? This is just great. And it's an opportunity that we were glad to have presented to us. But at the time, even though Eddie had been a game player and I had not, we didn't know what it meant. We knew it was going to be a really good game because Bill and Gary had done it for 7 years and done a great job, but I'd never played the game before, and we didn't know how to go about doing it. But they were very patient with us. They gave us a lot of work to do. I think they computed something like 35,000 lines in the game. And there are still situations where they will, over the course of this year, say, we needed something at that point for that particular weird play. And one of the game players in Kenosha sent us an email and said, how about you have that? They're always listening to people that play, and they supervise sessions where people do nothing, but it's a room full of people playing the game. They're scientists at it. Whatever they think they can do, and all we do is ride along.